Hi, my name is Noshad, some of you guys know me as Sean, and this is supposed to be a podcast that became called YouTube's, and my mate Danny, who's in Ottawa, originally from Edmonton, that's the one over there, not the one down the road, yes, I decided to call YouTube's. So, Vincent Jansen has finally signed for about, is it 18 million? I don't know how much that is. It's expensive, without a doubt, but 80, I suppose, in a world where Graziano Pella has become the sixth highest player in the world, and you know someone like Yannick Bolasie has got a market value of 28 million. You know, it's not unusual. It's a bit strange, but it's definitely not unusual. So yeah, I've seen some of Vincent Jansen's goals. He's hard-working, mobile striker. I think the edge he'll have over Soldado is he's a bit more mobile, and that's the thing that Soldado didn't have. And you could, with Soldado, whenever he used to get the ball, his first touch wasn't brilliant. He was good with the ball, technically good, but receiving the ball back to goal, just didn't have that real quick turn with him, that quick feet, that balance to to find himself space. So Jansen does seem to be able to find himself that pocket of space to work the ball in, work the ball with. He's obviously not a Neymar or a Messi, but he can work with the space he's given. So I'm happy with the signing. Obviously, I think the club would have made sure they have adequate reserves of euros to pay for it. I don't think it's the Brexit thing, but I think really it's a good signing. We've made some good signings. Clearly, last season the difference was that we had a good team, not enough players in the squad that could really make the difference. Obviously, Sonny's a good player. And sometimes he filled in, but it didn't always. But beyond Sonny, there really wasn't that much. Danny Rose, Vimmer, Trips, but really that you think, oh my god, these guys can come in, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable. Clearly, Mason and Carroll weren't that. So in the place, we've got Wanyama, so I'm very happy with that. I'm a bit still dubious about Wanyama just because I still think, is he Palacios Marto? I'm not too sure, but time will tell really. With Jansen, technically he does look good. He's not ex-Ajax. He's at final, but generally they do tend to play, develop their players quite well. I think the difference, a lot of people saying, oh, it could be Alves Marto, which isn't without the rest of the possibility. The difference is that Alves was being managed by Gareth Southgate, and Jansen's being managed by Pochettino. I think there's a bit of a difference, just a little bit. Secondly, Alves, had to come in. He had to go running. Really make hay. A lot of pressure on him. He was, probably the most expensive club record signing, probably. There's a lot of pressure on him. Some players just can't handle that mentally. We saw that Darren Bent. He never really quite adjusted to that. And he knows that that sometimes price tags can really shackle a player and really cause difficulty. I mean, there's old rumour that we had one player that we insisted was signed for 999,000, so he didn't become the first £100,000 player or something. Just to avoid that pressure on him. I think players do feel that pressure, the weight of expectation. We all do. What I liked about Jansen, although he's predominantly left-footed, he can hit with his right, but he'll cut in from the right, drifting onto his left. Harry cuts in from the left, drifts into his right. So that gives us the ability to play two up front, which is absolutely vital for if we need to. If we are we're barring a team down, and they're playing very deep, four banks of four, even 4-5-1, to have two players up ahead of the striker, that gives us, and obviously to say play 4-1-3-2-3, and then we've got our two fullbacks. That's so on the math 7 against 4. And that's how we can overload. Obviously that's where Wanyama comes into his own really, and he can really hold and really shield that defence. Clinton and G will be interesting. Here's my thing on Clinton and G. We haven't seen enough of him to say, oh, he's going to be this or he's not going to be that. What I do see is that Harry Kane's our poster boy. Clearly he's going to be starting most games. So what we need, we're looking for players that can push Harry Kane, but not going to push him out the door. And Here's what I say. That's the reason why when I go onto this, I don't think we're saying Mario Goetze. I think we've got players that buy into a team ethic. What we saw, unfortunately, from Portugal winning, unfortunately, I feel so bad for Hugo. That's the guy. Oh, you know, it was really my fault when that guy when I went mad. Uh, we saw that a team, take away their talisman, they had to develop as a team, and they had to come together, work as a team, grind it out, and it was very, very boring. It was not the most interesting games, but they did what they had to win, and they worked, and they did it by knowing each player knew what to do. Each player worked very hard for each other, and you saw Ronaldo on the sidelines pushing players to work hard. And whatever you say about Cristiano Ronaldo, he's this, he's that. His work ethic is incredible. He's an incredibly hard-working player on and off the pitch, and I think it's about teams. We've seen that with Atletico Madrid and beating both Bayern and Barca. Yes, they felt the last hurdle on penalties, but any team can lose penalties. It can go either way. But we've seen how they've overcome that opposition over two legs. We've seen that with Leicester. We've seen that with us. If you have teams that generally can become more than some parts, if they're all playing together to a plan, sort of Iceland. If you know what you're doing, if each player knows each other's knows what they're doing and fulfills their roles, that can often overcome superior teams that aren't as jointed together. Teamwork, so that's why I think he's a good fit. I don't really want to, not that I want to see us on Mario Goetze. I think Mario Goetze is an excellent player. I saw him play for British Dortmund, fantastic player. My concern is if you bring a player on big wages, it's like signing a Galactico. I wouldn't want to sign a Galactico. I'd rather sign a failed Galactico. Even a failed Galactico, I'm a bit worried about. And my boy Kevin G, who's probably the only one, Spurs fan I know, that's delighted about Hugo getting a Ludus medal because he's actually from Portugal. He was like, I want to be about to know. I like how we are. We're a Galactico free zone, and I think that's the way it works. I think with Jansen, I'm hoping for at least 8 to 10 goals in the Premier League, maybe 15 overall. Obviously, got the League, FA Cup, and he'll give Harry a break. Sometimes you can see Harry looks leggy, in 75 minutes, but you have to keep playing him. Bring on Jansen, or just say, look, you know what, it's not really working out. Okay, then we'll play 2 of them up front. Yeah, give it, say, at half an hour. If that doesn't make a difference, we take Harry off. Look, save it for another day, and we'll go to 4-2-3-1 or something. But it gives us that option. It gives us that, for me, for example, I do jiu-jitsu. My patented move is to go for a scissor sweep, or like what they call a single butterfly hook sweep. Yeah, doesn't mean that much to you guys, but it's something that I do, and my regular sparring partners know this. They know what I'm going for. They know that's exactly what I'm going to look for. I'm going to look to grab the collar and do what I look to do. Here's the thing: if I can't get that to work, I'm often stuck. So I have to have a plan B, and since then I've had to work on what my plan Bs are. But plan B, C, D, E. Tactically, football, because you've got so many moving parts, you've got 11 against 11. Obviously, they change. They change. It's like that game theory, Nash equilibrium. I know that you know that you know. I know that you know that you know that I know. So, a guy was asking me today. I was in the gym. He's like to me, "How do you think I do?" He saw my Spurs shirt. Yes, I work out in a Spurs shirt. I'm proud to be. I actually work out in Seven Sisters because I'm a Tottenham native. And they asked me. I said, "You know what? I'm not too sure. I mean, we have very good bones. We've got a very good united team. We don't have to build a team ethic because we've got that. We've got a consistent manager, same manager, so no, like getting across new ideas. They've bought into what he's doing, and the team are willing to, well, as we've seen, literally fight for each other. So the team were very, very good. He just needs to add to that and supplement that in case things do go wrong. But there's no massive rebuilding or reshaping that he's had. A good example, I spent like a hospital HQ. I'll tag him later in the post. I'll say that, do you know what? If you look at the team that we have now, compare that to literally a year ago in the Carling Cup final. That was a real watershed moment. Everyone's building up Carling Cup final, Chelsea. The first goal, John Terry, made an error, got punished. Second one, but it could have gone either way. I think it was a close game, and the scoreline, showed really. But here's the thing that I take away from it is that if you look at how he transformed. I mean, Townsend gone. Chadley probably on his way out. Ben Taleb is 50-50. I think this is his last season. I think he's got one more. He's got a season to really show his mettle. Otherwise, I think he's going to be gone. Mason probably on his way out. I think, that's it. Dyer's obviously in new position, but that's 4 players. That's 4 players. We said that when we had the best of Tottenham, these 4 players are amongst the best of Tottenham at that time, at any given time, and that's what's nearly half your outfield team, and we've changed that. You know, I don't think Dembele was playing in midfield that day. I don't think, obviously Ali was, he was still on loan, but if you look at how our midfield changed, take those 4 players out, 3, well, now we've got Toby and Jan, great combination. Why? I mean, you look at tactically, Belgium, why they didn't play them, and I'm not going to talk about that too much, but I'm saying you've got 2 guys who know to play each other week in, week out, play to your strengths, and then when you play as much to your strengths, and when you have your weaknesses, that's what you shoehorn in. What you don't try and do is, break up the strength, or if you haven't got a strength, you just restart them, and then you work from your strengths, and hopefully they'll mask your weaknesses. You work to your strengths, and I think that's what we're going to be doing. We've got our strengths. Our strengths are our unity and our teamwork. I don't think Goetze adds to that. I'm not saying, I don't know if Goetze is a person, I've never met him, but clearly, he's a guy that he was a big by, Borussia Dortmund, big money offer coming in. Obviously, he wouldn't go to Bayern Munich. He's won titles, so clearly it was a good thing for him to do that. But ultimately, when it was announced, there's no way they could pick him to play against Bayern Munich, so it was a bit, it was a bit just weird. And so for me, and then he's got bad blood at BVB. Bayern are a little bit like, we want him, don't want him. I'm not saying I don't want him, but the wages he'll be asking for, quite rightly so, I just play which I don't think we can afford, and just not just as a club, commercially, but just as it affects the whole team. And I think what Poch, Mitchell, all of them looking at doing is that, what do we do when we add a player? How does it affect the whole environment? It's not just looking at there's no point buying this one great player, but he does this and it spoils the rest of the team. The best way I can describe it is, it's a really bad adjective because he actually was a great player, but Fastidio Spria, they brought him in back in 1996 from Newcastle, and he upset the balance. And by upsetting that balance, they never, they just, they were 12 points clear, stopped, because you upset the balance. No, I'm not saying he was tactically the team and how it was set up, because you try and pigeonhole all these players in, it just didn't really fit. In 1997, I can't remember what year it was. He said, I would love it if we sold it to them. I think it was 1990. I keep thinking it's 96 or 97. I'm sure. It'll drive me nuts, but I think it was 96 actually. 97 actually. Yeah. He pigeoned. He Sharon Ferdinand scoring. It was brilliant. And then he brought in Aspria, and rather than actually completing it, broke the house of cards apart. So that's why I think we're not going for Goetze. I think we already have, was it Pritchard, Lamella, Sonny, Ericsson, Ali, and Clinton, who can play there as well. So that's 6. I think Chadley's gone. I think Carroll's going. I think Mason's going. So we've got 6 players there. We've got one of the other things that players, he likes players that can play more one position. So Harry can play the number 10, but he also plays at number 9. He's a 9.5. I think you've got Clinton, who can play as a play on as a winger, but can play up front. We haven't seen enough of that. Maybe once obviously with this Melbourne tour, we do play 2 up front. We play Clinton and Jansen together. See how those 2 go along. Maybe we can go 2 up front, especially if Harry isn't fit. Harry can't play every single game. So we'll see how that goes. I think it gives us that option. Or we just play 1 up front and see how that one goes. Obviously, we got to see the best of Clinton. So yeah, I'm very, very optimistic of what Poch has built. But I think, as we saw from last year for Jose, you have a championship winning side. you don't add to it, or you don't add to it in the right way, and the whole thing can come falling apart. You know, I think it wasn't the case of Chelsea winning the league back in 2015. I think it was just the other teams not really bringing it, and they had enough quality. Hazard was on form, and that was enough for them to win it, to get them over the line. Now we've seen footballers evolve. It's now about the team, even more so, a team that gets together and overcomes the odds. So yeah. Anyway, my name is Siobhan. This is the Bevia podcast, and I invite any of you guys. I'll definitely take feedback on the blog. You know, if it's too long, too short. Me and my buddy Bert, more than happy to answer your questions. Take care, and as always, come on, you Spurs.